Hi, Mochismo Eugene. Welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. Please like, subscribe, share the video. If you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up. Pass it on if you believe someone else would benefit from it. I would appreciate that. One of many of the gifts that you have as an awakened empath or an empath in general, one of many is the fact that you have self-worth. You have a self-worth. And many of us awakened are coming to that point of realizing we have a self-worth. And that self-worth was broken. It was broken as a child. It was elevated in some sense by parents, guardians, loved ones, and friends around you who duped you. They elevated you and they snatched it away. They put it back and they snatched it away. They moved the goalpost all through life. And now what you're having to do as an awakened empath, you're having to reanalyze, reassess. And that's another one of the gifts as awakened empath. We're able to introspect, go within ourselves. We always have done this throughout life, unconsciously. This is why we were able to rebuild ourselves and come back better than ever before, in light of and in spite of the fact that the demonic forces had their odds against us. They were betting against us. Most often it was people in our circles, family. They would pat you on the back and stab you with that same hand. But you didn't notice. Now that we're able to introspect, go within, we're doing a total recall. We're rewinding the tape of our life. As we're rebuilding, that is coming natural. All of the stuff, the drudgery, all of the tainted mindsets that was enforced and impressed upon us. We see that it was by a design. And one of your greatest strengths is your self-worth. And that's a big part of what we're realizing now as awakened empath. Self-worth is not just saying, I know I'm worth something and I don't care what anybody says about me. Self-worth is really not needing anyone to say one way or the other. You're okay with where you're at. That's self-worth. You have a very keen awareness of self. You know your worth. And you know it to the point where you don't have to tell anyone about it. See, silence is key. In many ways, silence is key. Silence is key even when you're speaking, because listen to me. Like myself, I've been pretty much all my life. I stuttered when I was younger and I was shy. So when I was able to go and study English in school, I began to, my teacher, I was a teacher, I guess I was her teacher's pet. I had a crush on my English teacher. The way that she taught English, and I was a little kid, but I think we've all had a crush on that one teacher. It was because she was able to educate us in a no favoritism type way. I didn't know it then, but that is what I probably was most attracted to her about. Not just as a woman who was beautiful, had a nice physicalities and this and that, those were externals. But looking at myself and who I am, looking at my self-worth, I know that I gravitate to people who have like-minded characteristics. She taught in a very poker-faced way. Every now and again you'd see a glimpse of a smile when she approved of something you did well. But for the most part, she shot from the hip and she was straightforward in her approach to English. And it made me hungry to want to know how to speak. And I'm from Alabama. I don't really use proper English on a regular basis, but that's beside the point. I was able to utilize English in a way where it was a strength to me. I was able to communicate to people in a way where it didn't just make me seem intelligent or smart. It made me be able to have a certain poise about myself, have a certain engagement about myself, being able to interact with people on every level. And English is not just speaking proper English, it's able to have a dialogue with people to the point where you draw them in and you want to communicate to them in a way that it's universally understood. Or whatever country you're in. If you're in Dominican Republic and your Spanish is stellar, you're able to speak to those in the streets and those on a higher level in society. And so, I guess my bigger point of that is able to come within yourself to see your self worth. Your self worth was always there. The narcissist came in and they tried to dumb it down. They often come into your life and they they gas you up with your self worth. They gas you up. They help you recognize something that you already should have been aware of. And you were. But what happened is, in your going and comings and growing up, like I said, you were force fed your self awareness, your self worth. So much so, you looked at the people who uh, doted on it as the ones who were the ones you thought should have been, you should have paid homage to. Because they recognized it, and not just recognized it, they reminded you of it. And now that you're awakened, you have to remain aware of your own self worth. You know why? Because this is what guards you. This is what helps you avoid allowing people to lure you into their circle or their mindset and having you believe they're the reason for the season. See, when you show up, you are the life of the party, whether you speak or not, because of your energy and your aura, your self-worth. See, God made you that way, and he made each and every one of us to be uniquely, fearfully, and wonderfully made. The narcissist's Achilles heel is they don't know their self-worth. They're searching for their value in other people, in things, and in praises. The same thing the narcissist does to you when they meet you is what they want you to do to them. You see how that makes sense? They need you to help them see their value. And so what they do is they force feed you your value so you can compensate them. Because when they come in, they have their foot on the gas pedal, doting on you, giving you all these praises and this and that. You know how you get involved with them and everything, the relationship settles, whether it's an intimate relationship, a job relationship, business relationship, and then all of a sudden they snatch the rug from under you with the praises. They'll start really going in about your flaws, the things that you are mediocre about, substandard about. Even if they don't exist, they find them. They pull them out of the air. Because what they've done is they've given you that shot of dopamine, gassed you up, hyped you up, like Glorilla said, to the point now you're looking at them, you're giving them the validation that you think they gave you. What they do is a boomerang effect. They force feed you something that they want back. They give you a gift because they know it's going to come back. Because they've learned the art of deceiving people. They give because they are looking to receive it back. And when you become silent, you become awakened, you become aware, you start self-reflecting, introspecting, raising your vibration. This is when the narcissists really get handed a can of whoop ass, and you hand them their self, ass and all, on a paper plate with no fork and spoon. They have to eat with their hand, which is not half bad. I mean, from Alabama, we used to eat collard greens and black-eyed peas and cornbread. Anybody relate? Eat it with your hand. It didn't take away from your self-worth, your self-respect. But with the narcissist, they have to eat with their hand because, that's all they have. They have no support system. They have nobody to gas them back up like they gassed you up. Because what now you know, you don't need them to help you understand what you already are aware of. That's your greatest gift, one of them. Being able to introspect, that's a great one. Being able to go within yourself. Your resilience is a gift. I'm giving a bunch of stuff away, guys. Your resilience, which is like what I said, being able to bounce back, being able to weather all the storms of life. And most of those storms of life, they weren't just storms of life you just woke up to in life. And it was either people interrupting your flow, your vibration flow, and throwing you off of your course. A lot of us would have been, could have been, maybe even should have been a lot further in life. We are the movers and shakers of this world. That's how God designed it. But in Him designing us like that, we have to come to a point of realizing that that is what we're put here for. To be movers and shakers. We are here to shake the world up. We are here to shake the kingdom of darkness. Just by our presence. When the Christ walked the earth, people flocked and followed. They heard about Him before He even came. And like the Christ, you having that spirit living in you, the Spirit of God that He put there, that you have become very self-aware of, to the point where you can look outside of yourself and see all these people in a rat race to try to chase these things, to get these things, elevating these celebrities and being doting on them. They can't do any wrong, to the point where you're so blind that you can't even see when they start living human and making big mistakes. You're still supportive of them. And what you do is, everybody make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Your self-worth has been compromised when you do that. Because you have an integrity that now you've loaned to this person who's doing despicable, deplorable things. Yeah, we're not perfect, but then to go on and accept and not just accept, dismiss, overlook, not only what the act that the person did, you start looking back at a pattern of how they were deceptive. Not just as someone just happened to make a mistake in life, which we all have, lost our way. But you see a deceitful, manipulative pattern. Nothing short of a narcissist. Cut and dry. But they've disappointed us, but we don't want to tell anybody. The pastor, the priest. And so you continue to go to the church. You continue to be a parishioner. Rather than to just say, hey, I ain't judging him. God can do that. But I'm going to make a judgment call on what I have been given, the information that I've been given, one human to another, and I'm going to cease and desist. Most of us are not even strong enough to make those decisions. That's why we were so trapped with the narcissist for so long. We allowed our empathy, we loaned them a big part of our empathy, to the point where we didn't even have any empathy for ourselves. Learn to cease and desist, guys. You don't have to give them the memo. Just bounce. Bounce. To the point where it's so quiet, they'll be able to hear a rat pee on cotton. You don't need to give anyone the announcement of the fact that you've come to your senses. Your self-worth, once you are awakened, is all you need to help you navigate through this world in life. Your faith in God and your self-worth. Self-awareness is a big part of coming to the point of knowing you have a worth in yourself that is valuable, that needs to be unmolested, uninterrupted by darkness, and it needs to remain progressive, not regressive. You find yourself letting people distract and detract you from things that you know within yourself, you're already on a course and you're already losing time and valuable moments in life trying to achieve certain things on your own, irregardless of whether somebody tried to interrupt you or not. So compile that on top of the fact that you're having ups and downs, trying to achieve certain things. But you're okay with this because that's resilience. You know things don't come overnight. Now you don't need added issues with people coming to your life with the energy that narcissists have to distract and detract you from the momentum that you already have. And it will happen in family units. Oh, I need to go over there. You've always gone over there to help them out and bail them out. I was trying to call you. What happened? I'm usually able to reach you. You reply to them and say that I had some pressing issues I had to take care of. I had something very important I had to attend to. And if they ask you, if you want to give them an explanation, just say I had to take care of a personal matter regarding myself. You always leave it blanket. And I'm going to use the word deserve. They don't deserve the details. And this is not to be mean. This is to be matter of fact, because you know the intentions that they have are no good for you or anyone that these people come in contact with. And this can be a family member, okay? You have to come to a point where this, in fact, could be your uncle, your aunt, your mother, your father. When we talk about narcissists, a lot of times people don't want to think about it and introspect and start calculating, doing the deep dive, the deep thought, and say, who in my family is a narcissist? Who in my family behaves this way? Because if you don't do that shadow work and that introspecting work to start with home base first, you're going to overlook something. Don't just automatically assume blood is bond and family is forever. Your loyalty is to yourself. And it could be your child who's a narcissist. I want to leave that out. Your strongest strength is your self-worth. One of them. And this is why narcissists fight so hard to keep you distracted to the point where you don't sit down and remain mindful of that. If you're, in fact, we're not even aware of it when we met them. They, in fact, brought us to that point of the awakening path. They brought us to that point. Now, we are aware of our self-worth. This is why they tried so hard to destroy you. And it's funny, they said things that were so atrocious to you on the way out when they were devaluing you. They were saying all of this stuff. Have you ever thought to yourself, you ask the narcissist and say, if I was that bad, why the hell did you hang on and deal with me that long? You know what? That would be a dialogue, a waste of time. Because they always have an answer. And the answer that they would give is a bunch of bullshit. It won't be anything that's remotely true. Because it will be more than often them deflecting this responsibility on you. Saying something like, I was just trying to help you out. And then you would probably, if you're quick on your feet, to say, oh, you're helping me out trying to destroy my life, huh? I didn't need no help doing that. But that's just being facetious, guys. Don't have that conversation with them. Because that question to them would mean to them that you're interested in their answer. And that equates to them being relevant. When you're awakened, everything about the narcissist is irrelevant. Other than the fact that you're going to remain aware that they are steadfastly trying to be relevant. And they'll go to any lengths to remain or maintain relevancy. And see, the people that are still dealing with them are codependents, narcissists, unawakened empaths. Most often, people who just want to keep the peace, they don't want to get in the middle of it, so they're going to stay neutral. To stay neutral is not to decide. If you stay neutral, you're still caught in the middle. Think about it. If you don't do anything but pick a side that includes you stepping to the side, that will enhance your ability to determine whether this situation that you're trying to remain neutral in is worthy of you either saying that was wrong, that was right, or I just need to cease and desist to deal with or entertain this whole circle or this whole group. But unawakened empaths and codependents, you never come to that point. Some empaths never come to that point. They just follow along to get along. We were fortunate. The abuse was so strong and intense, it woke us up. It woke us up out of the deep sleep we were in. And for that, I'm grateful, and I hope you are too. And I do pray and hope that the unawakened empaths begin to awaken in a rapid rate, because we don't have a lot of time left. These narcissists are destroying people's lives, physically, mentally, and the whole nine. Socially, they are breaking your circle, friends, and the dynamic, the networks that you have to be able to be financially stable and healthy. They are breaking these relationships with you. They're cutting throat like you don't want to believe, especially in business affairs. I deal with it a lot, and the funny thing, as an awakened empath, I can determine almost within a shadow of a doubt that is happening, and I never even let on that I know. That is just another big gift that God gives you. You become in tune with the BS. You see things happening and you don't even have to speak on them. That's a big part of why I've become, I don't want to say reclusive, but reducive. Yeah, that's a better word. I've become reducive. I reduce the stress. I reduce the mess. I do less. And I'm content with it. I go through my moments of financial concern, which as I should. We all want stability. We all want to be able to have a continuity in life. But until such a time it continues to be continuity, I will introspect, go within, process it, figure it out, pray to God, help me, and let life flow. Because these obstacles that we are going to contend with going forward are nothing to be compared to what we've overcome in the past. This light work. Because when you are awakened and aware, game over. That being said, bless.